Look, it's the update we didn't really want to have or acknowledge on the show. And unfortunately, here we are, months later. You will recall at the start of the year, actually for the last 18 months, we've been very passionate about what's been happening in Melbourne, Victoria, our city, when it comes to crime. And when you look at now, Victoria's spiralling crime crisis has seen offending rates reach the worst on record, the worst in the country. And we had the fastest growing change.org petition in change.org's history. Within less than 2 weeks, we had 125,000 signatures. That petition was growing at such a rate that the Premier came here into our studio on the 12th of March and had this update for us.
We are bringing in the toughest bail laws in the country. We are putting community safety first and foremost in bail decisions, putting the safety of the community front and centre. And we are also reversing that change where remand or bail was seen as a last resort for youth offending.
Now we can officially say that was a bold-faced lie. Mm-hmm. It is a lie. You would have seen this all over the news yesterday. The Manual for Victorian Courts still advises judiciary release for accused youth criminals on bail. Despite this crackdown, they're claiming the official bail bench book for judges and magistrates still encourages the judiciary to release accused youth criminals on bail. Wow. So forget if you're hearing anything about the toughest bail laws in the country. No, go up to Queensland, have a look at what that government's done, because they came in on the back of an election and they have reduced their crime rates by 11% because they have said adult crime, adult time. And this is absolutely laughable, and I think our government, our Premier, should be embarrassed. And even we took it at face value on the time, and so many of you contacted us over the last 6 months saying, can you follow this up? She said it was going to come out in phases, and it did come out in phases. Well, it's out now. It's rubbish. It's not worth the paper it was written on. And here's a great example. I don't know whether you saw this story, but there was the horrifying attack on the poor 33-year-old Sarib Anand. Now, this was he was the one who had his hand almost severed by a machete. So that man not only is living with the trauma of having his hand severed by a machete, he's also obviously going to have that for the rest of his life, with a hand that's, the nerve damage, inability to work. So much has gone on for that man, and the trauma that will continue through his life. Now, the youth offender, he has been in remand at Parkville. The judge has, last week, Supreme Court Judge Christopher Beale has granted him, he was given a week to behave.
A good behaviour bond.
Because his lawyer keeps saying, please let him out. He wants to go back to school. He really wants to go back to school.
Does he?
So the judge said, okay, you've got a week, because he has continued to offend in jail. Yeah. He has assaulted staff and fellow inmates in the prison. So he's continued his spree of violence in the prison. But the judge said, you've got a week. And at the end of the week...
How'd he go?
No reports of threats or assaults, but 2 incidents relating to property damage.
Oh, cross.
So offended.
Yeah.
So he's out.
Still in there?
Now wait for it. He is going to school on Monday. So he will be in a school. Now, they're not naming obviously the youth offender or the school, but if there is a parent with a child at that school, I would strongly advocate pulling them out. Yeah. I would absolutely not have my child anywhere near that.
That's bizarre.
Offender.
Because he's obviously broken the rules in jail again.
He was already, when he sliced off a man's hand with a machete, he'd already been released on bail multiple times. So this is a repeat offender. Now, at some point, common sense would prevail in saying we need to protect the other people in the community. I understand you want this child, and I'm going to stop saying child, actually. He's a teenager.
Yeah.
And he's behaving in a way that there are penalties, and he's been told about them, and he can't pull his head in and he can't change his ways. Well, now we have to protect everyone else around him.
Of course.
That has to prevail. So that offender who is very comfortable slicing off people's hands with machetes, he's back at school in a school environment with innocent kids and teenagers.
And you live that right. You can't go to school. Go learn in jail.
At some
Do your time.
point, can our government, our judicial system, put the safety of the other members of society first? It
And he
beggars belief.
he wouldn't be the only one. It's happening every day. I see it every day. We wake up and there's another crime and it's, they've been let out on bail. Like when she came in here, our Premier, she came in with, Jesus Christ, it was like a library full of notes and she was impressive. She nailed it. She was like, boom, 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 boom. But nothing she said is true.
When someone looks you in the eye and says these will be the toughest bail laws
We all went
and
up.
conditions,
Well done. Bravo.
I genuinely thought, wow, okay,
Yeah.
well,
Didn't we?
But we did say this. We said we're not going to close off our petition.
No, we're not. Get
and
on
we
there.
did that because we were like, we'll wait until we can see the result. And if these are in fact the toughest bail laws, they're not. Our petition is still active, guys. Get on board. We can keep going because for some reason, why does this government not want to curb this crime? I don't understand.
It's
it
bizarre.
makes no sense. But I really feel for the parents of kids that are going to that school with that repeat offender on Monday, who has absolutely no problem offending violent assaults, attacks, and threats.
Imagine
on
the school
people
teachers
around them.
too, knowing.
Oh,
They'd be petrified.
I mean, I would, if I were that school and teachers and the parents, I would full protest. I would not. I would make a stand. I'd pull
100%.
every child out.
100%. But
Because at some point, the majority need to be protected from the minority. Come on.